Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you from Westlake Village. And today we're going to follow up on our little falling channel analysis here and talk about, what Bitcoin could potentially do as that big, beautiful bill was passed. And it's going to be a bit of a shorter video, so I hope you do enjoy it. And subscribe, like, tickle the bell, do all that fun stuff, and make sure you remember it's not financial advice. All right, let's jump into it here. And yesterday, what did we say? I think was a little bit more likely was we were printing some bearish divergence and we were looking for a move back down to the value area high of the range. And we did not get that move. We got, in fact, a little bit more of a bounce up and I think another drive of bearish divergence on our major oscillators. And it looks like, well, that is likely to play out here over the weekend, over the holiday, over 4th of July. Swipe these lows, and that's coming in at 108.718, or excuse me, 108.718. Yeah, that's the number. I do want to line that up with something I haven't mentioned in a while, and in our Discord, if you want to join, there's a link in the description below. It is free. We do post one free trade setup per day. You could take a look at that. This is where you would go into the Discord, and you would go to free signals. Actually, the free signal today was a long on KNC. If you don't know, that is KuCoin's native token, or token. But I did want to look at a short trade setup, which is giving us a target down to about 107,538, and that's the number to take a look at. And remember, all the instructions and all that stuff is in the links in the description below, so you can take a look at your convenience. The first thing I am noticing again is we're grinding it out up at the top or above the value area high of the range. And it really depends on where you draw it from, whether you draw it from kind of this low here or this low here. Actually, in fact, it makes it almost identical. But essentially, you'd want to see the higher low come in around the value area high of the range. And in fact, we don't want to see it go down much lower than that box of peace and prosperity and death and despair. That is our golden pocket. That is the area between the 618 and the 786 fib. So you're talking about 107 to call it 106,500. Somewhere in that zone, we want to see that area hold. And if we fall back into this channel, well, that is kind of your first warning sign again that we would be coming back down to the median. And, maybe even the bottom side of the channel. That would be the route of the most pain, in my opinion. That's the hourly time frame. So again, looking for a minimum test down here. That'll also line up with the good old anchored VWAP. Let's see, from the bottom. Yeah, that's lining up right with our anchored VWAP. So I would expect at least a bounce from that pivot. And just to give you a little more perspective, if you are looking on the hourly time frame, this was Sunday at 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. in fact. We put in this high, we came down, made a little W, and then came back up. So we started the week at 108.6, and tomorrow's finishing the week. We're at about 109.5, so up about $1,000 for the week. And everybody gets real excited above 110, and there's just not a whole lot of volume coming in to the market right now. So that's one thing to be worried about. The other thing I am seeing here is the great chance that we do get a backfill on today's daily open. That would, again, line up at the 108.8 area. And if we, again, close a daily back below into the channel, I'm expecting a move into this box. That is, kind of the, I'd say, more bearish outlook. And not even bearish, just, short term, what's likely to happen after a big leap up. Now, what is the measure move off of this falling channel. That gets us up to, you know, our 120 target. So if this area holds, and more importantly, we've been talking about the 2-day volatility and how it's been on the floor for, you know, many days now. And I wanted to bring up the 2-day volatility on the CMEs because I think it's a little more easy to look at. And if you look at the last few times that volatility was pinned on the floor, you know, when volatility began to expand, generally, well, let's see what kind of move we got every time expansion occurred. This was a 30% move. This was a 40% move. Doesn't look that big when you're looking at these candles, and maybe I should just go ahead and delete that, and delete that. And here's what I'm talking about. We had 3 bars of extremely low volatility. This one had 1, 2, 3, 4 bars, and it took some time for this move to get going. To be fair, I would say this move ended up giving us a 9% move. This has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of extremely low volatility. Essentially, we've just been in a range. And the 2-day volatility is low. Momentum is clearly to the upside right now when it comes to the stochastic RSI. Let's look at our traditional stochastic, which has just crossed up. And, you know, we're just barely regaining the median. So, I mean, she's trying to get going. She's trying to bust through. We've attempted the 110 area now. Really, this is the high that we're trying to get through. This is the high that we're trying to get through right here. Oh, so call it 110. 110, we want to get above there and stay above there. And that likely leads us to the next party, to the upside, around 120. Around 120, but we're running into resistance just one more time. And the route of the most pain, after everybody's getting so bullish, after stock market is making new all-time highs, we're coming into the weekend price action. And remember, July 9th is when those tariffs end for Mr. Trump. And he has the ability to tweet and send the markets into a bit of a tailspin at any moment with a tweet about tariffs. So as long as he stays away from the tariff talk, I think we might be okay. But again, the route of the most pain is get everybody bullish, throw it down one more time with one of these guys here. You know, to me, it just doesn't, I don't see us getting way back down. Way back down to doggy town here. You know, we had an attempt at the 382. A lot of times that does actually lead towards a revisit of the 382. Other thing to keep an eye on here is Mr. Dixie, the dollar, which is coming into a multi-decade support line. Multi-decade support line. How far back does it go? Let's get rid of these moving averages and take a look here at where that actual support is. This is it. It's down here. We're not there yet. Multi-decade. So you'd have to go back 2 decades, back to the year 2000, and look for that support area. Does that look like support? No. Does this look like support? Yes. So we've fallen back in, and, you know, if Dixie can continue the rally to the downside, that would be more in favor of the bulls. More in favor of the bulls, but if we do get picked up here and bounce off the 200, that would be more in favor of the bears. We're right in the middle of the golden pocket here, so do I see any amazing news from this? No. In fact, I don't. Let's see. Dixie down, good. Dixie up, bad. Okay, NASDAQ making new all-time highs. She is back in her channel where she needs to be. That implies some continuation to the upside. Gold rocks are, you know, just hanging out in a range here. Nothing to report home. If I had to guess, gold is closer to taking a swing down. Silver, on the other hand, I am much more bullish and looking for this one to break out. tether dominance. Also angled to the downside on the daily. Losing that white 200 simple is a point for the bears. So maybe our altcoins start to gather up some life again. Ethereum Bitcoin is making a massive higher low, and ETH Bitcoin, you know, can we reverse the trend? I think we need to get back above this last major area point of control, which is coming in, yeah, right about there. You know, if ETH Bitcoin can get back above there, that would be for Mr. Ethereum. Like Ethereum is on its way to starting to outperform Bitcoin, you know, back above 2,800 is going to really goose the odds in the favor of our altcoins starting to, you know, make a major break for it. And yes, indeed. So I think that's it out of me today, guys. Again, most likely going to get that backfill, and then we hope we get some continuation from there. I will check back in with you probably next week. Going to take the day off tomorrow. I hope you all have a blessed and highly favored rest of your week. Take care.